Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of the Cyber Queens podcast. We are, of course, your hosts, Meryl, Erica, and Amber. My name is Meryl, Cybersecurity Woman Hacker of the Year 2023, resident ethical hacking and offensive security expert. I'm joined by Amber.
Hey guys, Amber DeVelvis. I'm an account director and also founder at Teach Kids Tech.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm Erica Eakins, recovering sales rep and CRO at Teach Kids Tech.
Yeah, I love how last week we were like, everyone in cyber is recovering from something. Someone was traumatized somewhere. Anyway, this week we have such an interesting guest with us this week, pair of guests actually that you will notice. And I am so excited to talk about Emily and her story. But before we get there, today's topic is accessibility for people with disabilities in tech and cyber. And you're going to know more about that in a minute. But Emily and Justin, we are joined by them. Emily is blind, and Justin was the gentleman who brought me to her and said we should have her on the podcast, which we were like, absolutely. So Emily and Justin, please introduce yourselves. We'll start with Emily.
Hi, everybody. My name is Emily Kiehl. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm a recent grad of the University of Cincinnati.
Ooh. And Justin.
My name is Justin Merhoff. I am an advocate for accessibility and cybersecurity.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Okay. So before we get into Emily's background and her story, Justin, please tell me how you found Emily and what you kind of knew about her when you brought her to us. Why you thought she should be here today.
Quick story. I've been doing cybersecurity for 26 years. 25 of that, I did not understand the importance of cybersecurity until I started at the company that I'm currently working for as the director of security at DQ Systems, which is an accessibility software company. Once I was there, I didn't want to just be the director. I saw that in past roles, I was missing a whole element of people, and I needed to make a change. So my goal is to make everything in my program accessible, but it's going to take time. And in that research, I started to find research papers and understanding that this has been talked about since 2017 about inclusion and security. And it's been building up and building up. And someone actually asked me, they kind of challenged me, and they said, you could talk about this all day, but until you have a story around this or proof that someone's been stopped, no one's going to talk to you. So I literally went to Google and found Emily's story. I found Emily's story and reached out to her and said, I'm really interested, because I didn't want to be exploitive. I'm really interested in hearing your story because I'm about to get emotional. Because it's hitting exactly what I've been looking at. And it's bigger a problem than I thought. I initially thought that it might be some things, but we're literally keeping people out of the industry. And when I was doing preparation for my interview with Danny on Audience First, Meryl's interview was one of the ones that I did. And in mid prep for the interview, I pushed pause, brought up LinkedIn, and put in Emily and Meryl and said, I think we need to make this happen, basically, because I think it fits exactly what you all are talking about. You're trying to get inclusion. And I think that Emily has a great story to tell. And I want people to actually hear it from her instead of just me talking about a student.
Yeah. Well, we love our advocates and our allies. First of all, it takes people like you to help people like us, all women, all minorities, people with disabilities, people from diverse backgrounds. And we thank you so much for bringing us Emily's story, because it lit a fire in me. Let me tell you, I was emotional and I was angry after I came across this. Yeah. So Emily, I would love for you to please tell us in your own words about your journey experiencing the inaccessibility when you tried to start, when you graduated and went through college and tried to start getting a job. Please tell us all of that.
Of course. This is such a golden opportunity. Thank you again for having me on. This is so cool. But it started, so I came into college fully sighted, and I started to lose my vision my sophomore year of college, and I didn't really know what was happening. It was really unexpected. And after seeing doctors and trying to figure out, it's like, okay, I just have to learn to live with this. And so I was in an IT major, And it actually, I was in IT because I was in a group in high school called Inner Alliance, which really connected me to a bunch of different IT professionals in Cincinnati. It's a really great organization. But in IT in college, I didn't have any problems. It was great until I started losing my vision. And then I came across accessibility barriers when I started to learn to use a screen reader. And so the number one thing I guess I'd take away, not all blind people see nothing. So I have some usable vision and I can use Zoom on my computer. But Zoom, it like magnifies window zoom. So it takes a piece of your computer and you have to move it around. And it's a lot like, it'll make you dizzy if you're trying to do too many things too fast. And the natural progression of learning to use technology more efficiently for blind people is using a screen reader. And I dove headfirst into that and found how many things are not accessible. Like even Restream is not accessible, especially on VoiceOver. When I was trying to log in, I couldn't. I had to turn VoiceOver off. But it's just the things that you notice because you have to notice way more things. But in digital forensics, in that digital forensics class, it was the first time that I was not able to do anything. All of the software that we were trying to use was completely inaccessible. When we were doing forensic images of hard disks and stuff like that, we had the disk imager. Since it's a piece of hardware with like a tiny little LED display, I couldn't use that. And I had to rely on my classmates to do everything for me. And I went up to the professor like week 2, week 3 of class, not even. Oh, I can't do any of this. What do I do? There are so many blockers. I'm so confused and I'm overwhelmed and I'm trying to learn the material in the class, but also I'm fighting with my own technology that I'm still trying to learn. And he said, I don't know. He threw his hands up and he was like, I really don't know how to help you. And so for like the rest of that class I wrote that. It's just that term paper that Justin found. And I literally went, every detail that I could find about the software that we were using. And
it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough, but I'm trying to explain to my professor. It was directed towards my professor. I was saying, this is why I can't do this. Please try to understand me. That was pretty much it. All of my professors, you start every class with, what is a screen reader? It's the basis of my like educational abilities. Like it's the reason I can use a computer and you don't know what it is. And then when you're in a technical environment like a digital forensics class, it becomes really overwhelming really quickly.
Yeah. And I want to back up a little bit. So the dilemma that you found yourself in was that you were late in life blind, right? So you didn't always have these challenges. And you said this digital forensics course that you could not complete was required for your IT degree that you were actively pursuing, right? And you ended up having to go with another discipline and graduate under another discipline because of these issues. Is that correct?
Yeah. So it wasn't the digital forensics class. The digital forensics class was the first one that I took that was really a big block. I don't even remember the classes after that, but I passed that class. And then the next semester, I remember it was January, it was the spring semester. I was sitting in the library in a study room, like bawling my eyes out because I can't keep doing this because every class was like using virtual machines built on server blades with no sound cards that I physically couldn't access. And also if you're trying to use Windows Zoom, which is the way I've tried to get around things for a long time, you can't really use Windows Zoom on a virtual machine on your machine. So like now you're layering a bunch of stuff and it's hard to explain to someone who doesn't want to understand in the first place. And so there were some professors that were less supportive than others. And I at that point I was like, I have fought hard enough. I'm just going to go find something that I can actually do because I love to learn and I love to be involved with conversations. And at that point, they said, okay, there's no way for you to learn anyway. So I was really at a roadblock.
And Emily, we just want you to know you've got some comments here in the chat saying, what a bad teacher, sorry, but if your professors should have should have a brain built for problem solving, and they're sad that didn't happen for you. Someone else says that they were an instructional technologist, God help Meryl, for a while, and it's amazing how people either push back or don't care about making things accessible. So a lot of people are commiserating with you in the comments. Just wanted you to be aware.
I'm also shaking my head and clenching my fists with anger right now.
Yeah, Erica has shook her head several times.
I'm so angry right now. I'm seeing red. Like, that's what educational institutes are. That's the whole purpose, is to help you learn and succeed. You paid to go there for a reason, and you should not be blocked for anything. My daughter's best friend is deaf. She has cochlear implants, so she can hear. But even through her journey, she's going to be an audiologist. They have things to help her get through class because her sensory is still it's really tough for her versus like someone like me who doesn't have, who's not deaf, and they are able to help her through that. This just makes me so angry, and I just want to scream right now. I'm so sorry for that, to hear this.
Oh, I was just going to jump in real fast, and I don't want to take over for her story, but it gets even worse, right? Because it's going to continue. She will never be able to get into digital forensics until the tools become accessible.
Right.
Or any sector in IT. I had to completely change my major in IT because none of the classes, whether it was digital forensics or cloud computing or networking, I really loved the networking classes, but even to an extent, they weren't accessible. But yeah, even when you say you're so mad and you want to do something about it, it comes to a point where you're like, okay, I can't be mad anymore. I just have to figure out how to keep moving forward. And that's something that's like in everyday life. It's like, okay, I'm mad about this, but being mad isn't going to change it.
Right.
And the people aren't going to change themselves either. So
nope, they're not.
I say likes don't change anything. Just being mad doesn't change anything unless it inspires action, unless it inspires proactivity. My heart is just breaking that that educational institution literally morally beat someone out of a technical career that they could have been very successful in simply because they were unwilling to amend a few things, like say maybe, okay, put these classes off for a semester, let us get some tools in, let us even if you had attended one-on-one sessions with a TA or something who could take you step by step and read screens to you and stuff. But no, they just were like, I don't know, you figure it out. And that, I think that institution failed you personally. Go ahead, Amber.
I was going to ask about that too. I feel like I've been trying to hold back tears this whole episode, so forgive me. But also, I just feel like I feel like there's some type of almost discrimination there, like the ADA, right? And I don't know, Emily or Justin, if you guys, could talk about that a little bit more. But I feel like, having kind of a disability discrimination, because that's what it seems like to me, right? I instantly go into are they allowed, right? Are they allowed?
Can they do that?
Come up with some kind of workaround and.
So even if they wanted to, but here's the other problem. So even if the school wanted to, they can't. There's no tools that they can buy to help Emily.
Yeah.
Really? Those kind of things just don't exist yet?
They don't exist. And as far as ADA goes, the access office at UC is great, but they didn't have the tools to help me. Nobody had the technical knowledge to help me because when I'm trying to learn something for a class and learn my technology to learn in the class. So it's a bunch of technological issues that you need specific types of minds to help.
Yeah.
Here's our next business adventure, all of us.
I was immediately in the background. How do we build this?
Right. That's what I'm thinking. How do we build this and help and have this not happen anymore?
Yeah. And Amber is our resident bleeding heart as the CEO and visionary of Teach Kids Tech, which Erica and I are also part venture in. Amber is really about equal education opportunity for all because it really is going to help determine your life outcomes and how successful you can be and how independent you can be, and it plays into financial safety and security, but it also plays into psychological safety and security. Do you walk into a situation dreading, am I even going to be successful in this class or not? Many of us just got through college and then thought the real challenges began, but That's not how it is for everybody out there. And Emily, I just want to read some comments in the chat to you because I know you can't, it won't screen read for you. So Samir says your story is really amazing and uplifting. He himself has a disability and everyone around him said that you can't do any work, but he believed in himself and he did break into IT and now he's been here for 20 years. So he identifies with your story a lot. Some people say you'll have the ultimate win. Your story will inspire change. At least we hope so. So just wanted you to know that.
Oh, it definitely already is. Because in the back of our minds, we're like, all right, guys, we're going to Elon Musk this out. We're just going to board away until we get something.
Yeah. I think it's so important to call attention to stories like this. Like, you know, like as hard as we think life is, there are people going through it with like challenges we can't even fathom.
1,000,000%.
So out of curiosity, Emily, when you were pursuing your IT degree, what part of IT did you want to work in and what inspired you to want to work in a technical career?
Honestly, a lot of it was the success that I had in high school. I was one of the youngest presenters at CES in Las Vegas in 2018.
Ooh,
Wow.
I am shocked! Woo!
Yeah,
awesome.
we presented on one of our projects it was a VR amblyopia like medical device. So that was cool.
Awesome.
But I loved hackathons in high school and I did a bunch of those. Me and my friend won the competition in 2017, maybe, like when we were or juniors in high school. And like looking back on that now, I would have been so mad if a junior in high school came in here and like won this college competition that I'm in college to go
Toiling.
We were so annoying. Oh my goodness. It was a lot of fun and it inspired me a lot to keep finding success like that because it feels good. It feels good to win and it feels good to learn stuff. So I really loved learning to learn, and what better area to go into than technology. Originally, I wanted to go into networking because I don't know. I had a really great networking professor my freshman year, so that's probably why.
Wow, so you had an amazing professor who inspired you to want to do a part of IT and cyber that almost nobody wants to do. I don't know anyone who's like, I'm super passionate about IT.
Person in the world for that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm like, wow, you love network security? Like we need you. So we had someone who loved this stuff, who was good at it, who wanted to pursue it because Amber, Eric, and I in our research for Teach Kids Tech have come across stats like if we don't get little girls inspired, specifically little girls inspired for technical careers by the fourth grade, we lose them until well after college or their second career. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we had someone who was there primed to come in and be a kick-ass professional and make a difference. And we just conditioned her love and pursuit for the subject right out of her. Like we are failing, y'all. We're failing as an industry.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed.
It has driven me in other ways, though. I'm really into access tech now, so
which is
amazing.
There's always an okay outcome, I think.
Out of adversity comes innovation, I guess, but still.
I love your outlook. Love your outlook and positive attitude. Love it.
Tell us about that. Tell us about the accessibility initiatives you've been a part of. You said you went and taught or were a part of a blind college in Colorado, and tell us what organizations and tool creators and developers can do to make their stuff more accessible to people like you and members of your community.
Oh boy. So it comes down to label your stuff, have good comments in your code, and make your code organized. Like that's it.
I quit.
And just have good code, and it'll make my life easier. It'll make all my students' life easier. But yeah, this summer I had such an amazing opportunity to work at the Colorado Center for the Blind, and I was one of the Access Tech teachers for the summer youth program. So I got to work at CCB, the center, and I'm
applauding you.
Yeah, thank you. It's a training center for people who lose their vision to come and learn all the blindness skills you need. So like the main 4 core classes are travel, so cane travel, Braille, Access Tech, and home management, cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, like all the stuff that you really need to do to function as a person. Mm-hmm. It is such a really fantastic environment. Like I said to you guys before it started, it was really awesome to feel normal. Like you're just in a room with people who just get it. And it was really awesome because everybody just has different perspectives either way. But yeah, access technology, and I got to teach kids everything from, some of my kids wanted to learn programming languages, some of my kids still needed to learn how to type. So everything like that, and using different accessible software to do that. So we use JAWS, NVDA. NVDA is a free, like, readily accessible screen reader that you can download. JAWS is the industry standard. It's for job access with speech, but it's the best. It has the most tools to help you get through inaccessible software. Then there's also like Windows Narrator, which is kind of not good. No shade to Windows, but Narrator could use some help. And then there's VoiceOver on your phone. And so we used a lot of VoiceOver with the kids, who are still learning to use their phone, but giving them the tools that they need to succeed in school, because technology is such an integral part of school. Also, just getting to information, keeping up communication. So thinking like the basics of things that you need to learn how to do to function as a person. That's what we're teaching this summer, because we only had a month to do it.
I love the heart, man. I love the drive. I love how, like, even in like insurmounting odds, like, you guys just push forward. You guys just keep trying.
No kidding.
There's no other, you have to.
No other choice. Yeah.
That's perfect. And that's why we will be offering you a position at Teach Kids Tech to lead our entire
our accessibility curriculum.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
I'm so dead serious. It's so hard to find a job anywhere. So if you have any pointers or advice or direction, I'm all ears.
You guys, I don't know anyone who's this passionate about coding and network security, but if you need any of that, like, I would hire Emily tomorrow. And I don't care if I have to have someone sit with her and read the screen to her. It's use of that intern's time to make Emily an empowered professional. Like, literally, my mind is blown.
This will serve as your first interview. We'll just forward it to everybody.
Yeah, we'll just send this recording. Hi, have you heard of Emily? Here, let us help you. That's just, well, that's phenomenal. It's phenomenal that so many do want to learn coding and do want to learn these technical skills, and that there are people, trying to help them. You said something I really want to hit on. Technology is such an integral part of life, like smartphones, everything we do, our banking, our communication, done on smartphones. I have two daughters, one in second grade, one in kinder. And my oldest really only had tablets in the classroom this year in her second grade class. But 2 years ago, she didn't, but all the homework was expected to be done on a tablet at home. In fact, they make you sign off. Do you have a tablet at home she can do homework on? And if not, get one. And my kindergartner has it in her classroom right now as a kindergartner. So I'm like, think about the children, like, not even just the adult professionals, but think about the children that are getting left behind who not only don't have access to these things, but if they do, can't use them and are just looking around at their classmates like, help me. What do I do now? It's just,
there's a lot of really cool alternatives that you wouldn't know about if you didn't look. Like, right next to me, I have my Braille Sense 6, which is the top of the line Braille. It's a Braille display computer. It's called a Braille note taker. So I use my Braille note taker for anything that a computer can do. But also, there's tons of different Braille displays. There's different screen readers that you can put on anything. There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of workarounds.
That's awesome. What are some of those workarounds? Can you tell us? Because I'm completely uneducated in this area.
Well, yeah, sure. It's all the screen readers that I've listed before. Those are the workarounds. But like, if you have an inaccessible website, every single day I go to a website and it says button, 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 button. This is like this morning when I was on my phone trying to log in, it said button, button, button. So it means the buttons are unlabeled. Just goes back to label your code, please, pretty please.
Please,
stuff like that, there's different JAWS cursors. So on my computer, there's the PC cursor, there's the virtual cursor, there's JAWS has some new OCR, like optical character recognition software, which has come so far, even just in the time that I've been in college. There's an app called Seeing AI that I use every day. There's Ira. So Seeing AI is different from Ira or Be My Eyes, which you might have heard of. It's where you can call someone and they'll pick up the phone and they can see what you see through your camera. And so if I'm going grocery shopping and I'm like, okay, I need some Frosted Flakes, but I can't read the box of Frosted Flakes. they'll help me. But seeing AI just came out, like their new OCR software is so fantastic that this summer I was able to go grocery shopping with my kids. There were 3 kids in my apartment, and it was so good. It was able to give me, I looked down the aisle at the grocery store and it was able to tell me cereal, pasta, oatmeal, like general stuff like that. Oh my gosh, it was a game changer. I love going grocery shopping by myself, by the way. It's such a cool independence boost. Something that
Wow.
Amazing.
But those are some of the workarounds.
That's phenomenal. And I want to call everyone's attention to something in the comments. I don't know who this LinkedIn user is because I'm not logged into LinkedIn at the moment, but it says Webcraft. Apparently there's a new, Webcraft is the company they work at, and they're working on accessible digital tools. And this person has 15 years helping people with disabilities, 3 years an assistive tech specialist, and then a master's in learning design, cyber education. So whoever this is.
I met her this morning.
Who is that?
I think it's Steph. I would bet.
Steph?
In her bio, it said Webcraft.
Awesome. Steph, love the work you're doing. We'll be reaching out to you too.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know, just thank you so much for being here to talk about your journey and to call attention to these issues. We hope that certain developers and companies change their practices out there. It's very little work to add comments and labels while you're coding modules. You know, we know it's not fun work. We know no one enjoys like over labeling all the things, but it really will help other people out there.
It's not even over labeling. It's just labeling.
Just
I
labeling.
didn't even know this was a thing. I think that's fantastic. I mean, I didn't even think about it when you mentioned that, right? So when you were talking about, you know, it says button, button, button. So you were kind of doing like the accessibility feature on an iPhone, for example, where it can read the screen and read whatever it is that you're looking at. I use that all the time, right? Because I'm usually doing a million things at once and unable to look at it. So, and there are times where it'll read like, you know, like a little ad URL, and then it just reads everything except for what I want it to read, right? The important stuff. So is that where that comes into play?
Do you use VoiceOver?
Oh yeah. I'm easily the laziest person, so I use all the accessibility features. So
Amber is lazy. We love her though.
Something I always say, I want to be able to be as lazy as sighted people. That's like my goal.
That's excellent. That's an excellent goal. I
want
love
to
that.
make the world a little happier, a little more accessible, and I want to be able to be as lazy as sighted people. But like VoiceOver is just different gestures. So there's like a pinching motion. You can use the rotor, and there's a bunch of different actions that you can go through. Like copy and paste isn't like, it's not you know, select copy, select paste like you would do it visually. It's turn the rotor, select copy, like swipe. There's just a bunch of different gestures that you can learn. So it makes it faster.
it's incredible.
That's incredible. Well, we are coming to the top of the half hour, and I think one of the queens has a hard stop, unfortunately. So we're going to have to move into final takeaways. But before we do that, Emily, please tell the good people out there where they can find you, how they can connect with you, and what your goals for yourself are so someone can help you in that goal.
Oh, my goodness. I need a job.
Get her a damn job!
I graduated from UC this past spring with my degree in interdisciplinary studies. I love to learn. I love people. I love, like, I don't know. I love learning. My email is emilydkiehl@gmail.com, and you can find me on LinkedIn. I think it's just at Emily D. Kiehl. And should I say my phone number, or I guess
I don't give people your phone number, please.
No.
No, they can reach out to you if that's what they want.
No.
They can reach out. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had.
No. That's good intentions, but we don't want the whole internet having your phone number. That's a recipe for disaster. I don't know if anyone's gonna have a final takeaway or if anyone here is really entitled to one besides Emily and maybe Justin, but we would love to hear your final takeaways out to give to the audience. Anyone out there who maybe does have a disability or is still trying to get into tech or into cyber and is going through the same things, any words of advice for them or words of advice for, again, the developers or the orgs, because your developer advice was spot on before. So whatever you want to impart to the audience out there.
You go first, Emily.
Oh, okay. The biggest thing that I would like people to remember when you come across someone who's blind or someone who has a disability, blindness specific, not all blind people see nothing. That's huge. Blindness is a spectrum. Every person is different. treat people like people, please. Just everybody's just doing the best they can with what they have all the time. And if you come across like that, I think everything will be just a little bit less stressful.
Love that. Thank you. And words of inspiration. Just give the people like you a few words of inspiration. How to keep going forward. How to face the adversity with hope.
One step at a time, baby.
One step.
Yep, that's it. Little
Love
baby
it.
steps.
Justin, any words of advice out there for your colleagues and cohorts who need to take more chances on people with disabilities?
Cybersecurity is not cybersecurity without accessibility. And I'm going to give a real quick example. There are plenty of people that are using awesome assistive technologies like Be My Eyes. Now, guess what? They're also having to use that to help with their passwords because the applications aren't coded right for their screen readers to find where to put their password in. So the CISOs and the people in the security programs at organizations, this is your problem. This is not an HR problem. This is not a compliance problem. There is risk that's happening at your organizations right now, today, because of the lack of training accessibility, and the tools are not accessible to the users, and they're not accessible to people that want to get into the industry like Emily. So we need to make it accessible, or we will continue to not actually be inclusive, which I know is our goal in our industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, anyone out there with a DE&I initiative who doesn't start turning out accessibility programs, I'm looking at you hard. I'll start doxing. Don't even think I will. I have nothing to add. Those two just did it perfectly. Ladies, anything to add from your part?
I'm speechless right now.
I know. I'm just trying to not cry on camera.
Me too.
Okay, we don't want Amber to cry. We don't want Amber to cry. But we're certainly gonna work an aspect of this into our curriculum for Teach Kids Tech, I think.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%. All right. Emily, we want to thank you so much for coming and speaking with us today, shining a spotlight on this issue and on your community, and for being a spokesperson for them. If you have more interesting stories like Emily's, we would love to hear about them. Please DM any single one of us. With that, thank you so much for spending your Friday with the Cyber Queens. We love you. We wish you all the success in the world. We'll see you next week. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's absolutely free and the number one way you can support us. I would love it. And with that, we will see you next week. So thank you and bye.
Bye. Bye.